when you feel drawn to toxic relationships or people with abusive behaviors. This attraction can have deep roots in various aspects of your personal and family history. Attracting the wrong men, or feeling like you have a broken picker, is not an unchangeable fate, but rather the result of patterns that can be identified and transformed. By understanding the origins of these behaviors, whether through the repetition of family patterns, repetition compulsion, or limiting beliefs, you can begin a journey of self-awareness and healing. Remember, you deserve a healthy relationship where there is respect, care, and mutual growth. Seeking help and working on these issues is an act of self-love that can transform your life. The seed of attraction, personal history and family patterns. From an early age, our childhood experiences shape how we relate to the world. Imagine a child growing up in a home where affection is intermittent, where moments of love are mixed with outbursts of anger or neglect. That child unconsciously learns that love comes with uncertainty and instability. As they grow up, this pattern repeats itself. The search for a love that promises intense emotions but often turns into pain. These experiences can create a cycle that is difficult to break. If you grew up witnessing abusive or dysfunctional behaviors, you might come to believe that this type of relationship is normal. Without realizing it, you may feel drawn to relationships that initially seem intense and passionate, but in reality, they conceal a toxic dynamic that repeats past traumas. Family constellation and the transgenerational transmission of patterns. A powerful concept for understanding this repetition of patterns is family constellation therapy. This therapeutic approach shows how unresolved conflicts and traumas from past generations can unconsciously influence our current relationships. Perhaps your grandparents or parents experienced abuse or emotional instability, leaving deep marks that shape the way you relate today. Imagine that from an early age you witnessed or were a victim of troubled relationships. These experiences create an internal script, where dysfunction is expected and even repeated. So, when you meet someone who exhibits toxic behaviors, there is a silent recognition, like a familiar story already written, that attracts you even if it brings pain and suffering. The trauma cycle and the trauma bond phenomenon. Another important aspect to understand is what we call a trauma bond. This term describes the intense emotional attachment that forms in situations where affection and abuse are intertwined. Think of a moment when, after an intense argument, the toxic person returns with affectionate words, promising change and reaffirming their love. This cycle of highs and lows can be so powerful that, even recognizing the pain, you feel compelled to stay in the relationship, desperately seeking that feeling of validation. This pattern can be compared to walking through an emotional minefield, where every step risks triggering an explosion, yet you also experience brief moments of relief and affection. This mix of emotions creates a confusing and difficult-to-break bond, often leading you to ask yourself, why do I keep coming back? Psychological and social influences. The search for validation and the romanticization of suffering. Beyond family and traumatic experiences, individual psychological factors also play a significant role. Low self-esteem, insecurity, and a constant need for validation can drive you to seek relationships where emotional intensity is mistaken for true passion. Society often romanticizes this struggle, reinforcing the idea that true love means suffering and overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Movies, music, and even social media stories frequently portray intense, but toxic relationships as signs of deep and genuine love. This cultural narrative can make you believe that by facing and conquering these emotional challenges, you are experiencing something extraordinary. In reality, this pursuit often only perpetuates cycles of pain. Warning signs. Recognizing toxic dynamics. It is essential to learn to identify the signs of a toxic relationship so you can seek change. Some of the most common indicators include the constant feeling of walking on eggshells, hypervigilance about potential conflicts, extreme anxiety in anticipation of negative reactions. You might find yourself reliving that familiar sense of fear, as if you are always in a minefield, waiting for the next emotional explosion. These signs not only impact your mental health but also erode your self-esteem and confidence, making it harder to recognize what is healthy and what is harmful to your well-being. A story of overcoming. Finding the path to healing. Let me share a story that illustrates all of this. Imagine Anna, a woman who always felt drawn to intense and passionate relationships. Since childhood, she witnessed her mother's struggle with instability. Emotional marks. How toxic relationships shape our perception of love. As Anna grew up, her father's emotional instability deeply influenced her perception of what love was. Their relationship, full of ups and downs, left lasting marks on her understanding of affection. As an adult, Anna repeated this pattern, engaging with partners who alternated between acts of love and abusive behaviors. She found herself stuck in the same situation, feeling insecure, anxious, and unsure of how to break free from this cycle. It was only when Anna decided to seek therapy that she began to understand the roots of her behavior. Through cognitive behavioral therapy and family constellation work, Anna realized that her attraction patterns were strongly linked to her childhood experiences and her family's unresolved history. Over time, she learned to recognize red flags and build healthier relationships based on respect and genuine affection. Anna's story proves that transformation is possible. Recognizing repetitive patterns, understanding the origin of trauma, and seeking professional support are essential steps toward breaking the cycle and creating a more fulfilling, balanced life. Practical strategies to break the cycle and promote healing. 1. Self-awareness and reflection. Take time to reflect on your past experiences. Write down significant moments from your childhood and adolescence that may have shaped the way you relate to others. 2. Seeking specialized therapy. Therapy can be a transformative tool. Techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) and family constellation therapy help identify and reframe trauma and negative patterns. 3. Building self-esteem. Work on developing strong self-esteem. Engage in activities that promote self-awareness, such as meditation, journaling, or hobbies that bring you joy. Strengthening your self-confidence will help you recognize what you truly deserve in a relationship. 4. Establishing healthy boundaries. Learn to say no and set clear boundaries in your relationships. Understanding that you deserve consistent respect and kindness is essential for maintaining healthy, balanced connections. 5. Rediscovering self-love. The tendency to seek toxic relationships is often linked to difficulty in loving yourself. Invest in self-care and celebrate your qualities. Remember, before loving someone else, you must learn to love yourself. Conclusion. A new chapter in your life. By the end of this video, I hope you realize that being drawn to toxic relationships is not simply a matter of preference. It results from a complex interplay of factors, from childhood experiences and family patterns to cultural influences and unresolved trauma. Recognizing these elements is the first step toward transformation. It's crucial to understand that these choices can have devastating consequences. Toxic and abusive relationships don't just harm your self-esteem, they can deeply impact your mental and emotional health, sometimes in irreversible ways. When trapped in a cycle of destructive relationships, it's common to miss out on personal and professional growth opportunities, abandoning dreams and goals. The emotional entrapment can lead to depression, anxiety, and even self-destructive thoughts, making you feel like there's no way out. You deserve relationships that foster growth, respect, and genuine love. If you recognize yourself in any of the signs we discussed today, know that there are paths to healing. The journey may be challenging and at times, it may feel like your wounds are too deep to heal. But with self-awareness, professional support, and a true commitment to change, you can rewrite your story and transform your life. Think of the countless people who, like you, felt trapped in a cycle of unhealthy choices and abusive relationships. Many of them lived in an emotional prison, fighting daily to maintain their identity and hope. But by seeking help, whether through therapy, support groups, or honest conversations with friends and family, they found the strength to break free from the past and build a healthier, lighter future. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but every small step towards self-discovery and self-care matters. When you invest in yourself, you begin to see that you deserve nothing less than a relationship based on security, care, and mutual respect. You have the right to break free from the cycle that causes so much pain and reconnect with your true worth. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Let's create a supportive community, where each story is an opportunity for learning and growth. Remember, the first step toward transformation is recognizing what needs to change. You are not alone on this journey, and it is possible to break free, rebuilding a fulfilling life with healthy, meaningful relationships. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos that help you better understand yourself and build relationships that enhance your quality of life. See you in the next video.